Hello and welcome to another year, fourth consecutive year actually, of 15 days of breakaway roping. I am your host, Jordan Jo Hollabaugh, and I am so excited to bring you our fourth consecutive 15 days of breakaway. I keep saying it, I just pinch myself. I love this time of year. It's a little better than Christmas for me because we get to talk about breakaway roping all day long for 15 straight days. Kind of a big deal. And, I'm just so excited. Over the past 3 years of doing this, we've had over 75,000 people listen to this specific series. So I just want to say a huge shout out to all of our listeners out there. Thank you for your support. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for helping In the Loop podcast grow. This year is going to be great. I think probably the greatest year ever. Absolutely. We have some really cool things coming down the pike. And I just want to say a huge shout out to our partners this year because I absolutely could not do this without them. This series of 15 Days of Breakaway 2024 is brought to you by Wrangler. Wrangler butts drive you nuts. And we also have other partners such as Patterson Garage and Trailer Repair in Springtown, Texas, Rattler Ropes, Pro Fantasy Rodeo. Go get that breakaway team, y'all. WRWC, the Women's Rodeo World Championships. We've got some really cool questions coming, Fancy's Burning Questions. And Rodeo Now. Upload all of your rodeo videos and have them in one place. I'm excited to be a part of this year's 15 Days of Breakaway. It's really special to me. So thank you guys again for listening. If you have any questions for me, or if you would like to give us any input, I would love to know what you think about these breakaway roping series episodes. And if you have any breakaway roping questions, period, email me at jordan@inthelooppodcast.co. And I will get back to you and answer all of your questions. Make sure you share these episodes with all of your friends. We appreciate your guys' support and helping In the Loop podcast grow. So with no further avail, let's get to it. 15 Days of Breakaway 2024. Here we come. Guys, so we are here today on 15 Days of Breakaway with our number 3, Jackie Crawford, coming in with $135,498 and 81 rodeos. Jackie Crawford, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You had a phenomenal year this year, 4-time NFBR Qualifier, Houston champ. We have a really good picture at Houston, which you still haven't sent me yet. Thank you for that. Back there in the 8-man round. Man, you just had a stellar year. Talk about this year and going into the NFR as number 3.
We say stellar year, and it was a good year. It was a really good year. Thank you, Houston. That's all I'll say. So that's kind of one of those. I mean, everybody hopes to win, in a year, and so a bucket list rodeo that definitely gives you a step ahead and lets you kind of rodeo how you want the rest of the time. So yeah, thanks Houston for that, for making it a stellar year for sure.
Well, and I think it's such a bucket list rodeo, right? We talk about winning Houston. It's such an instrumental piece in the whole year, but just to even have the chance to make the top 8 at Houston is so incredibly tough. Talk about that win and how special it was for you, because you showed up, and I don't think you didn't have any expectations, but you weren't on anything. You borrowed a horse. You showed up, you had fun, you even borrowed a rope. I mean, talk us through Houston and how that went.
The year before is after I'd won, after I'd won the American, Kevin got pneumonia, and I had to go borrow a horse at Houston and made it down to the final 8 on Hope Thompson's Awesome Horse Inc. And then this year, kind of had some things go. I don't even remember what had happened, and I bought a new horse that I was just kind of getting with a little bit through the winter, and I was like, well, he's going, like he's the one that's got to go. And so just like you said, anytime you show up to Houston, it's an awesome experience anyways. You're going to eat great hospitality food, you're going to have a lot of fun, you're going to see amazing fans, you're going to see awesome concerts. It's just like a family celebration down there. And so yeah, just showed up and just to have fun and do the best I could on that little horse and everything. And it just kind of kept falling in my way, and got by some really tricky calves. As you know, Houston can be really tricky. I mean, and the calves there, we've been roping some dairy crosses, which tend to get even, a little dirty in that big arena. And so not knowing where they're going. And so we just kind of kept surviving, and then came down to the final 4. And that's exactly what we did. They had 4 calves that went hard right in that big arena. And my little horse worked outstanding and fell over there and gave me a great shot. And we won 50 something thousand on a, what was it? A 3-second run, 3-7 got me 50 something. So, but I was proud because we just kind of kept overcoming everything. So it was just one of those. It's like, did that really just happen? We just outlasted and waited and just kind of kept surviving through that. And, you know, I guess that's a little bit what Houston's about. So it was really neat.
Well, and it was
and I did borrow a rope.
You did borrow a rope because you came
Yeah.
and asked me if I had a rope, and I use a little bit too heavy rope for you because I'm stronger than you. No big deal. So you had to borrow. Did you borrow D'Lo's rope?
I ended up borrowing D'Lo's rope, but remember that morning? So we have, you know, typical of rodeoing, we have rigs going everywhere, and the one rig was leaving, headed to, where was that? Where were we all headed?
I think we were going like Mercedes, or I don't remember. So we were all going to some different rodeo at the same time as Houston.
All I know is when the smoke cleared and all of a sudden it was time to head to NRG Stadium there in Houston, we look up and my rope bag is headed 4 hours away. It's almost 4 hours away, and I have not a rope in my rig left there. And it was like, you have got to be kidding me. And so I call all my friends, and you bring ropes, and Taylor Munsell brings ropes, and Tiana Gray had some ropes. Rich had some Vipers in his trailer. So I just kind of gathered up. I ended up taking one of those, and when I got down there, D'Lo's like, take this rope, and I ended up using D'Lo's rope in the finals on both calves. And so I'm like, well, thanks for that, but still not gonna get money.
I was gonna say, did you pay D'Lo rope money? I mean, how does that work?
She tried. I said, this is what friends do.
Well, and that rope, I mean, y'all probably should have framed it, because I mean, she won so much money in Fort Worth and San Antonio and Houston, and then you won it with Houston. So it was like a fire lucky rope. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and let's talk a little bit about your rope bag. What do you have in your rope bag? What kind of ropes do you use when you do actually bring your ropes? And do you use a bag? Do you use a can? How does that work?
So I've been a big fan of the bags. I like the new Rattler bags. I've been a fan of that. I actually have, even before they came out with the Breakaway bags, I was keeping my ropes in a team roping bag. Reason for that is I like a lot of body in my ropes, and so I want them coiled up bigger. And so not that I don't still like my rope cans, but I just like to coil my ropes up so that they keep a little bit more body to them, so I can keep them bigger in a rope bag. And so that was one of the things, like when we were testing the Rattler rope bag, is like, hey, make it as big as you can. That keeps the coils bigger. It keeps those loops just a tick more open and even feeling to me. So I've been carrying a bag. I love them. I'm a big fan of the bags. In almost every, I'm such a weirdo. I love options. And so I have like 4 or 5 bags that go with me. And in each one of those bags, I carry Vipers and Spitfires. My number one rope right now is probably a Viper. It's just, I don't know. I just kind of was using one in the practice pen, and it just the feel that I got right now. I also will pull out my Spitfires. I mean, I'll kind of get to a rodeo, and in that bag, whatever bag I'm taking, I'll have a few of each, and I pull them out and I swing them, and it's literally whichever one feels good that day.
Right.
And that's it. So.
Well, and I think it changes throughout the year, but I'm the same as you. And I don't know if that's a team roper mentality or what, but as soon as we were given the option of a bag, I'm like, yes, I will have a bag. And I think we have the same vintage cowgirl bag too, because I copied you on that. No big deal. They are really cute. But I mean, the Rattler bag, like we just got done roping a jackpot today, and I think I had 10 ropes in my bag. Like, yeah, it's pretty dang cool. So, I do love the fact that you can keep them bigger, and they do have more body that way. I think that's just a different perspective on it.
And I love the fact that they put the backpack straps on it.
Seriously. You can just tote it right up there, snap it onto the fence, boom, ready to go.
Do anything. Yep. And even when they were talking about, I was like, you got to have a section in the middle of the ropes and stuff. Because I was thinking, how handy is that if we have to fly to a rodeo? Throw some overnight clothes in that little deal, throw your ropes on, put it on your back, and go through the airport, So, Well,
I couldn't do that because I put too much powder in there. So like I would get out and my clothes would have powder all over them.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about horses. And this kind of leads me into a fan question. We had our fans submit questions for every roper. If you could ask Jackie Crawford one thing, what would it be? Your fan question is, you rode so many different horses this year. How did you decide which horse to ride?
It was probably whichever one was walking on all four legs at that time, at the time of the rodeo. Yeah, it pretty much was like, honestly, I started off on Kevin at the very beginning of the year, which I've rode him forever. I had gotten Backtrack, the little horse that I won Houston on, and honestly, I'd gotten into so many bad habits with my roping that riding the same horse, Kevin did nothing wrong. I just had gotten in so many bad habits that it was like getting on something different. I had like my yellow mare and Backtrack. And it was like getting on something different would help me. It helped me like totally kind of get out of the things that I was doing. And so I'd actually gotten in a little bit of a groove with those other horses and with Backtrack. And so I busted Backtrack out at a few of those winter rodeos as well. I rode him a little bit at San Antonio, but actually like San Antonio, where I went back and was 1-7, I went and grabbed Kevin again. So I don't know. I just swapped back and forth because I was trying to fix so much on my roping and just find that groove again. And so I rode them a little bit through the winter. As we went out for the summer, I took Backtrack and Hail Mary, my Palomino mare. And so I really like her at like a little bit more strapped out there setups. She's super easy. She's super free. She's really honest about things and makes it pretty easy on stuff like that. So like Sheridan and those places, I really love her. And so took her out there and, yeah, it was just pretty much whichever one of those. And then just bad luck. He got hurt. She got hurt. My good friends, Larry D and Hope, had a horse that they had left at home called Trojan. He's a 6-year-old roan horse. And, they had said, we're not even taking Trojan out. So don't worry if something goes wrong. We always got horses we can bring out. So I had sent him out. I'd had Charlie bring him out to Salt Lake. Even before Salt Lake happened, I just had him haul him out there and I was going to ride him. Well, by the time he got out there, my bay felt good enough again that I thought he was good to go. And I got on him. Well, at that time, Cheyenne McCartney thought she was, or her horses had all gotten hurt. So it was like, we'll take the roan and you ride him. I'm riding my bay still. So she took the roan and hauled him for a while. Just kind of how everything works is that her shoulder got bad. She had to go home. My bay wasn't right still. So I ended up taking him back out there or getting him from her. And I ended up finishing the summer on the roan of theirs. So yeah, it's a lot of horses.
That's it. No big deal. I mean, just, 5 to 10 to 20 horses. Yeah, and I think that's so unique for this year. I look and you have 135,001 and you're talking about riding all these different horses, which is a challenging mentality within itself, knowing that you really don't know what you're getting on. So talk a little bit about relying on just trusting in your preparation and all the things when you get on a different horse and you're fluctuating all the time. You don't really have that confidence to go to on that one horse. How do you still step up and win there?
It is hard because I rode T-Boy for 11 years, and it's just like, he knew what I was going to do. I knew what he was going to do. And you knew what to expect and you expected to win when you have that horse underneath you. Mm-hmm. And I think it's, being able to try to keep that mentality of expecting to win, but just having to go off a feel and just, honestly, you have to let little things not bother you. You have to let little missteps not throw your whole run off. You really have to just be very forgiving in the run and let yourself win what you're able to on each calf. And just that's pretty much how I look at it is don't make a mountain out of a molehill. If they're not, with T-Boy, I knew every step he was taking and it was always going to be the same. And some of these horses, it's just a little different. They're all younger horses too. The oldest horse I have is, I think 9 years old, maybe 10. Backtrack might be 10 this year. I'd have to look. But anyways, that's not old for a rodeo horse, and so just knowing that they're going to make mistakes and not let it fluster you and still go try to make the best run and salvage some money out of that run. And that's pretty much what we did all summer.
Okay, y'all, I am excited to talk to you about Rodeo Now. It is your one-stop shop livestock app with all of the demand on the rodeo actions. Want to show off your best rides? There's plenty of social media apps for that. But at Rodeo Now, we're building the rodeo community by sharing all of our rides and our runs. Whether it's one of your best rides or one of those rides that just got the best of you, When you upload to Rodeo Now, you're helping your fellow riders discover stock that they might drop. There's no community like the rodeo community. Join Rodeo Now and help build that community together. And another thing I want to touch on that you mentioned is you were trying to work through and change your rope and get through some bad habits, which I think that hearing that as a roper and as fans that you think Jackie Crawford is a veteran. Why would she have any bad habits? And why would she be trying to change her roping? So talk to us and tell us why you wanted to change some of those things and get into some new habits to continue to put yourself in the position to win.
Well, I truly feel like I had some great wins in the last, 3-4 years, but I didn't feel like I was roping to the standard that I thought I should rope at. And I think that some of that comes with the fact that I let myself get away from the real breakdown and work in the practice pen. I was going through the motions. I wasn't practicing like I should be practicing. It was hurry up, rope, but never like an actual thought. It was like, oh yeah, I got the roping in today, but it wasn't an actual like, hey, I improved on this today. It was, I have too many irons in the fire. We have too many things going too many places. I don't know how to say no to anyone or anything. And so it was just like, it kept falling behind. And I felt like it finally caught up. That and injury, I think that, I'm 41 years old, fixing to be 42 this next month. And it does kind of catch up with you a little bit when you do get hurt. I'd hurt my knee. I have some problems with my hip. And I think a lot of that coming together, it just got into bad habits and I let myself get into those. And so really trying to come out of those and then trying to come out of those, but yet find a groove on a horse that you have a lot of confidence in too at the same time. It's kind of been a battle the last little bit, but again, I'm not going to discredit the big wins. I've had some great big wins in the last few years, obviously, but
and that's what I wanted to highlight through that is, yes, you say you're trying to work on these habits and get out of these things, yet you have 135,000 when you're coming in as number 3. So you've had some huge wins while still doing that. So I think that is pretty cool in what you've done and how you continue to win while working on things. So just applaud you for that.
Well, thanks. I think that's everybody though. I think that if you're in this business, you're a little bit crazy because we all strive for perfection, but we're never going to achieve it. Right. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. There's something to work on every day and it's never going to be completely finished.
So if you were to say what is the biggest key to your success over these past years, what would that be and why?
I would just say like the belief in yourself. I think that the belief in yourself, I know like growing up and I think that I hate it for people that don't have anyone to make them believe in themselves, even if they don't, just because I know for me growing up, my mom made me think that I was great. Right now, was I? Probably not. No, I didn't ride any better than anybody else. I didn't have anything, whatever, but she really she believed in me so much. And whether she did or she didn't, she made me believe that you have God-given talent, you have, this and this and this. And so, I think that belief that you deserve to be there and you deserve to use the things and the talents that you've been given. And so I think that she also was a person that she never let me have any excuses. No excuses. You might not have as much money. You might not have, the nice things. You might be tying your headstall together with some baling twine or whatever, but you know what? It doesn't matter. It's not an excuse. It works just as good as the next person who's all fancy. Right. Yeah. So I never given any excuses whatsoever. I think is a big thing. And, and then I think that there's also somebody asked me what motivates me one time. And I said, fear, 100% fear. Fear motivates me all the time. And when I say fear, fear motivates me in the sense that I don't ever want to look back and say, I didn't leave it all out there in anything, whether it be the roping, anything I do or would have chose to do. I don't want to look back and say, well, I wish I would have, or I wish I would have, given this, or I wish I'd have left a bigger, made a better impression. I wish I'd have helped more people. I wish I'd have done this. I don't want to do that. I want to leave everything here and the best I can, and make sure that like I'm covering all my bases, that I'm doing exactly what God placed me here to do, and leaving exactly what he wants me to leave behind, and finding that purpose. And so that fear, I think, is very driving every day. So.
I love that. I love that. And it says, over 600 times in the Bible, do not fear. And it's a commandment. And so how you're using that to shift it, I think is so cool, because we all have it, right? It's all there. So how do you use it? How do you internalize it and flip that perspective to work for you? I think is pretty cool. You've had several firsts in your career, several inaugural titles, NFR World title first year, and you also have a couple of first round go round buckles under your belt. So let's talk a little bit about the NFR. When that gets set off and you get that first round win, how does that motivate your week and get you started at the NFR?
Oh man, that's been so fun. I mean, it was really cool, because to be able to come out and win the first round at on T-Boy, with Journey in the belly, the whole thing, the very first NFR was just one of those surreal deals, like it sealed, just that whole feeling that surrounded that week. And then to come back and win it on Kevin in Vegas, and then win it again on Kevin in Vegas. It was like, whoa, won the first round. That's really cool. So last year I was given Munsell heck. I was like, well, I guess I'll split first round with you once, I guess. Like, whatever.
I mean,
whatever. So
I don't want to hog it.
We were joking about it. It's just really neat, because I think that the very first year that we went to Vegas and I won that first round, we were actually talking, and Kelsey came out, and she was kind of opposite, like she was going to go for the average there. And I guess maybe being able to be a part of like the guys that are far enough to know that, like they say, go at every round almost. If the average starts to come into play, let it come into play, but don't look back and say, man, I've went past all these calves and I went out of the average on this one, and now I don't have all those back to go at the rounds on. So anyways, going at the round and just being able to celebrate and get kicked off with that adrenaline and stuff. So she was in the average and kind of roping for the average. And then she went out, and the second day she came back and she's like, went to going for the rounds, and she got pumped and won her around all this. She's like, this is way more fun going for the rounds. And I was like, I know. Just the adrenaline and the excitement it's too cool. So I figure I'd rather do that 10 times in a row. If the average comes into play, we'll go from there. But I don't know.
Yeah,
it's too fun not to.
It's pretty fun. Yeah. What was your favorite memory inside and outside of the arena this year?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one. Well, I mean, inside the arena, it has to be Houston. I mean, as cliche as that is, I mean, that's an obvious. That's cool to get presented with that title in front of that many people, and that place it's hard to top. I'd have to say another one too is I touched the tree at St. Paul when I rode out by. I grabbed it to see if it was, just see what it felt like, because I'd always wanted to rope there.
Have you never went Christmas tree shopping? I mean, what's your problem?
I'm like, what, are they real or are they fake? And honestly, I really shouldn't tell you, because it kind of felt weird anyways. But I just always wanted to do that, so I did it. I rode over it. I grabbed the tree, and so that was a highlight for me. Outside of the arena, I don't know, because we have so much fun when like the whole time. It's I'm trying to think of one. Do you know any that? I mean, you were around a bunch. I just.
Probably with me sometime, I would have to say. I don't know. You guys, we do that. I think probably one of like the favorites outside of the arena with you was at Ellensburg. Like, you guys are always cooking, and you have everybody over, and there's just like a plethora of people, and it's just like a fun, family-filled atmosphere at the rodeo. And there's all sorts, breakaway ropers, bulldoggers, team ropers. I mean, anything and everything right there. We're all eating, and like, I thought that was pretty cool at Ellensburg.
Yeah, and I think that, to me, that's what I've always said, is like, I want to make the most of the wins and losses will come and go. It's all that little stuff, like the camaraderie and the fellowship with everyone, that is so fun to me. And so everywhere we go, I mean, we have the bus, we try to cook out, we try to, and just everybody comes over, we play games, it's just so much fun, and having the kids there, and just getting to go do stuff and stay at great people's houses where we just celebrate all the time. I mean, to me, that's just all those little memories. Just those are the things that will always stand out for me. I love that stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I think that learning to have that and make that part of your lifestyle really changes your perspective on being gone and being, on the road for 6 months out of the year, 8 months out of the year. And that's something else I want to talk about. You made a post this year at the end of your year. You're talking about slowing down a little bit and, what retirement looks like.
Oh,
And
that nasty little word. I'm not retired.
you said it. I mean,
I'm
you
not
did
retired.
say it.
I
But
said it's my.
I mean, here's your platform.
Yeah.
So let it out. If you have hate in your heart, let it out. No, but I mean, really, let's talk about, the post that you made and you're changing seasons a little bit this next year. So what's that going to look like?
Just, it's not a huge change. My thing is that I want to rodeo all winter. I want to go to the bigger rodeos, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I love the little rodeos. There's several little rodeos that I truly cherish, and they're some of my favorite places to go. And I'm glad that I've gotten to go there as many years as I have to all those places. But for me, I want to back off, and like we have an 80 rodeo count this year. I would rather go to 40 or 50. And if it works out in my favor, say I have a great winter, say I get to win Houston again, great. Then I might try to go enough to make the NFR. I don't want to pack the kids up and go for 4 months again. I'm at that season in life where my time at home is so valuable. I still want to go to all the big stuff. I still want to do, I really want to concentrate on the American, the WCRAs, the Kimes Ranch $1 Million Breakaway. I mean, all these huge opportunities that we have that don't make me divide my family. That's a big thing for me. Creed's 7 years old. And I just think that in all fairness, have they had a blast rodeoing and they have no idea how lucky they are and how much they've seen? Absolutely. But we've been there, we've seen it. And I just want to make sure that he has all the same opportunities and Journey has all the same opportunities that I was given. And I want to make sure that, if he wants to play baseball in the spring, we're going to sign up for baseball. If he wants, no matter what it is, I just want to be able to have that time. And I love riding horses. I love it. And riding horses and being able to train, a couple futurity horses a year because I have a little bit more time at home would be, that would be truly rewarding for me. And the futurities are getting big, and there's so much opportunity there that I think that a person in my season of life should really take advantage of, because it gives you the best of both worlds. I can be with family more and then still be able to go to these places that are big platforms and showcase, the horses and the horsemanship and stuff like that. And so it's not a retirement. It's just kind of a shift. So
yeah, a change in the season.
I said I want to rodeo like Maddie Dearman and Joey Williams.
Seriously,
Okay.
50 rodeos to make the NFR.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I'm not saying I can do it, but
Kelsey Domer, just goes when she wants to, wins everything. Yep. It's really cool. Well, and I think that that's so neat. And one of the things I just want to applaud anybody and everybody for is like, wow, WCRA, the American fraternities, the $1 Million Breakaway, like literally you can make a career out of breakaway roping, whether it's professional or not. And so I think, yes, this is a new season. You're doing more things for your kids and your family. And that's just part of being a mom and competing as a mom. And so I just wanted to talk about it a little bit.
And nothing, this is not a, nothing to start, but I had to look at what would be, if I were to back off, have a little bit more time at home, what would be the most financially smart thing for the family. And for us at this stage in the game, I love our NFR. I love going to Vegas. I love going and being a part of that. But right now, our NFR, the money value isn't a trade-off for 4 months of travel to go rope. How do you say that and not be bad, but go rope for the money that we're going for. I look at the difference. I can not go rodeo at all and try to qualify for Kimes Ranch and run it almost $30,000 rounds and a huge average. Now, I'm not saying that won't ever be that way, and it might be a totally different, like Charlie, he's like, if they ever had it, you're going again. I'm like, I don't know, but he's bound and determined. But for now, for me, it's not like I'm cutting out the biggest thing for us. We're so fortunate because for some of the events, that is the biggest thing that they have. For us, it's not. And so I'm kind of trying to figure out where my time away from home versus my monetary value is right now. And right now that would probably would not be it. So.
Yeah. Well, seasons are changing and it's not
Yeah.
permanent, but
No,
you never know. I mean, come out there with a bang and then, 50 rodeos, Jackie Crawford, 5-time NFR qualifier. So pretty cool. Okay. So the WRWC Women's Rodeo is doing some really fun things. They have some fancy burning questions. You answer 10 questions and you get $100 VRQ bucks to nominate your next WCRA event, which I know you do religiously. So are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. What is your favorite type of music?
Oh, see, these are the questions that are so hard for me. I don't literally listen to my playlist and it goes from stuff that I don't even probably wouldn't let my children listen to gospel. I mean, it.
Well, at least you didn't say country because that's what everybody else has said. Thank you. Okay. 2, what is your first celebrity or who was your first celebrity crush?
I would say
Charlie.
Probably have to be like Leonardo DiCaprio, Okay, listen, I'm from a different era than most of your other people that you're interviewing, okay? They probably
Seriously, Channing Tatum has been several people have said him. I'm like, who is that? No. Okay.
My first crush, I would have had it at like 35.
Oh my gosh. Okay, who do you text the most?
Probably Shy all the time, and then my husband. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Poor Charlie. Okay. What is your favorite word?
Word?
Yeah, like
Just
what
one
word do
word.
you use all the time? One word.
Frick.
Oh, that one.
All the time. Frick.
You say that all the time. Okay, moving on. Who is your favorite traveling partner?
Am I allowed to say my kids?
Yeah, sure. Did they drive?
I love having my kids, but Shy.
Yeah. I was gonna say, who did they drive? Okay. Favorite brand of jeans?
Harriet.
Wrangler. Favorite summer rodeo?
Summer rodeo. Gosh dang. I loved St. Paul.
And touching the tree to see if it was real.
I did. I loved St. Paul. That was cool to me.
Yeah. What was your last Google search?
Let me look. Black jumpsuits for Vegas.
Well, we all know what Jackie's wearing to the back of our ceremony.
Whoops.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh my gosh. Who karaoke's?
You did in college.
I did. I don't know. We used to karaoke at the WPRA finals all the time.
Yeah, Jamie Markham. She has a memory of you.
Yeah. What did we sing then? I want to say something weird like Alanis Morissette, but I can't even remember the song. Y'all probably don't even know who Alanis Morissette is.
They don't. They're going to have to Google it.
Oh my God.
Everybody is Googling that now. Okay. And if your breakaway horse could say one thing, what would it be and why?
Throw faster.
Well, congratulations. You are now $100 richer with your VRQ bucks. You can nominate your next women's event. It's going to be awesome. This year open again in May for $60,000. Pretty cool thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. I love those finals.
So I know how competitive Charlie is. Do you guys play pro fantasy? And do you have a team? Let me ask you this. Do you have a team as a married couple, or do you have separate teams?
No. I have had a team every year.
Mm-hmm. Have you had any success?
No. Clearly, maybe we should try to do this together.
Maybe we should do like a girls team.
Yeah,
collaborate on that.
That'd be good.
And you should probably seek my advice. We have done a few under the counter bets, and I continue to rise on top. So you might should consult me for that.
Stop it. I'm gonna get that back.
Okay. Last and final question. 15 Days of Breakaway 2024. Jackie, who do you look up to and why?
Oh gosh. I have a lot of people I look up to. I mean, are you talking about inside the arena, outside the arena?
Can be anybody you want.
So inside the arena, like the person that I've always looked up to was Trevor. I mean, I thought it was amazing. I I thought it was amazing, the transition to me, what he made cool in rodeo. You know, he was a big God family rodeo, you know, in that order. And I think that was really neat to see a champion at his level really embody that and be that, you know, and to be as good as he was at multiple events. And another thing, I guess, that I looked up to him the most is because when I first got to go, I used to ride a few young horses for him. And when I first got to go to his house and rope, I thought, oh, this is going to be so stressful. Like, I'm thinking environment that's out this crazy and blah, blah. And we get there, and I think I was there for 3 or 4 days. And I've never laughed so hard in my entire life for 3 days, the whole time that we were in the practice pen. And I was so floored because I was like, how does a guy that's this successful and this good, but he has fun all day long and he just laughs, and it's just nothing is ever taken serious. Now he was learning and he was working his tail off, but it was like, if something messed up, he laughed about it and just tried again. And I was like, okay, that is the atmosphere I want in my arena. That's the type of, you know, mentality that I want, because, you know, it might've been him that said it, but you're going to spend a lot more time losing than you ever will winning. I don't care who you are. I don't care who it is. You will always spend more time losing, especially at this game, than you will winning. So if you don't enjoy the process and learn to enjoy life every single day going through that process, this is not a fun game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that is so true. I've seen so many practice arenas and people that are so miserable when they're not winning or when they're not, you know, whatever. And it's like, I don't want to be that. Like, if we're going to do this, I don't want to be that. I don't want, you know, my arena to be like that. I don't want my home to be like that. I don't want any of that stuff. And so truly that is, and I know that a lot of people don't get to see that side or never got to see that side, but I got to see that side. And to me, that's what I looked up to the most, is the positive atmosphere and mindset, and family was always a part of it. I just thought it was really cool.
Well, and I love that. And I think as a competitor, I see that in you all the time. Like, whether it's going good or not, you're joking with everybody back there. You're having a great time. You know, most of the time you have a smile on your face, and that doesn't go unnoticed, you know, and I think that that's really important. And especially as hard as we work at this day in and day out, to have that kind of perspective, it makes you a winner.
Yeah, it's fun. It definitely makes the days better. That's for sure.
And less wrinkles. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, congratulations, Jackie Crawford, 4-time NFBR qualifier, coming in number 3 this year. Thank you so much for joining us on 15 Days of Breakaway and in the Loop podcast.
Thank you. Appreciate it.